Hello everyone. Welcome and happy weekend, happy Saturday. How's everyone doing? I'm gonna try to open the bottom banner and also let's do the chat. Hey Adil, how's it going? How you doing, Adil? Good. Let's also try to change. Hmm. Let's also bring the chat here as well. And let's get the bottom banner as well here. There we go. Oh, well, what happened to the bottom banner? There you go. Awesome. And cool. So I'm working on one of the applications for my React course, or the course that is in Urdu. So I'm going to be developing that, and we can also have a bit of chit chat. Let's maybe increase the size of the chat a bit. There we go. Awesome. Adil says, I've started working on my startup web app, sir. Completed login this time and some KYC features for re-enter authentication. Is it okay? That's nice. That's really nice. Get info says, how are you? I'm good. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? How are you? How are you? Maybe I should zoom in a bit. Okay, so let's see if I have my app working. And let's see if I can. Yeah, seems to be fine. If I go get started, we have the app working here as well. Let's maybe dial down a bit here. I don't know, maybe like this. Let's see. Let's keep the code like this. Okay. I wanted to know how much I can cost me to deploy. Depends on what you have built this with. What have you built this with? Is it Next.js? Is it React? Is it Node.js? Different things. Saad Afzal says, sir, आपने IOMX क्यों लीव कर ली? मैंने IOMX लीव नहीं किया. I'm still part of IOMX. I wanted to know how much it can cost me to deploy. हाँ, so that depends on what kind of, or what do you have it. It's a MERN application. So then you can go to railway.app, and here you can do it almost for free because you have pricing. So if you go to pricing, you'll see that it gives you $5 a month automatically. So you don't really have to pay anything for Hobbyist, I think, as far as I remember, because I have the same plan. So if you go with this one, I think you get $5 per month from Railway, so you don't have to pay anything if your usage is less than $5. And I have a bunch of applications on Railway, so I don't usually go over $5 per month. Okay. So try to deploy this on Railway app. And if you have separate applications, like for example, if you have React on a different app and you have the Express.js backend, so you can deploy Express.js here, and you can go to Netlify and deploy the front end here. And this is for free as well. So I can maybe add it here as well. So I'm going to add this in the chat. There's the Netlify, and this is your Railway application. Noman Qureshi is asking, sir, when will you add Munstack course? I already have a Munstack course on YouTube. Have you not seen that? I already have one Munstack course on YouTube, and I think it's still quite valid. So if you go and try to see MERN, you will see here you have the Munstack crash course. It's an 8 hours long course, so it's very long, but it contains a lot of good information that you can learn from. So try to go from there. Okay. Okay, there we go. Maybe I should disable some of the messages. Let's see if I can. Maybe I can remove the Discord command. Repeat with timer, no. Git cheat sheet and cookbook today. Let's also remove that one. Okay, there we go. KJ93 Studio says, hi, I know HTML, CSS, learning Java now. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Awesome. Good luck. Good luck with all your learning. We need a separate one. Why do you need a separate one? When you already have a course, why do you need a separate one? I don't understand this. Go through the course that is already there. It's stupid for me to create something that I already have created. Means I have to deploy front end and back end separately. Adil is asking. Yes, most likely. It depends on your structure. If you have, when you start your server, do you have to start your front end server and your back end server both? Or do you need to just start one server? It depends on that. If you have an Express server that also serves the front end as well, then you just need to deploy to Railway app. But if you have front end and back end separately, when you start locally, then you also have to deploy them differently as well. So just like how you serve them locally, this would be the same for deployment as well. It is 2 years old. That's why I'm asking. It doesn't mean that it's not valid. Even if it's 5 years old, it doesn't really matter. If you look at HTML, JS, CSS course, they are 10 years old, but that doesn't mean they're invalid. So the content of the course is still valid. Try it out. If something doesn't work, then you can ask me, okay, why doesn't this work or why does that not work? But it's an 8 hours long course. I think it's very unlikely that all the content share in 8 hours is not working. So people are still using that courses. You can also look into the comments on, what were the latest comments, are people still using them, blah blah blah. So you can still look into this. For example, 1 years old, blah blah blah, 2 years old. I think, let's see, what was the most recent one? Maybe 1 year old. Let's see. So 1 day ago, the same thing. I think you were the same guy who was asking the same thing. So I already replied this here. So standards have not changed. If you are looking for something that is more, if you're looking for more recent one, then you can get the React course. And I also already shared the link as well. I don't have a backend course yet. Maybe I will create in the later part of this year. But right now I'm focusing on finishing the practical React Essentials course, and this is also in Urdu. So right now we just finished working on the entire. Give me 1 second. So as you can see, ये Urdu में है, and I've completed almost all the modules. For example, even this one, the testing module is finished just now. And this is really, I really enjoyed working on this one because I could put a lot of good information in all of these. Every tutorial is like more than 10 minutes. This one is 43 minutes, as you can see. So there are a lot of cool things to learn throughout these. And right now I'm working on the real world project pizza restaurant application. So I'm going to code this right now. Once I've done this, then I will create a tutorial. I'll break it down to different sort of videos, and then I'll start uploading those. Yeah, then I would say just focus on learning React at the moment. And if you even try to go with the MERN stack course, the MERN stack itself is now not as much used because you have Next.js, right? So if you're just talking about the MERN stack, I think this video is still really good. I would encourage you to try this video, start this, go forward. And if something does not work, then just comment on the video that I don't understand why this is not working, or just reach out to me on Discord and I can help you out with whatever you're facing as an issue. So start working on the video and then start coding and keep pushing your code to GitHub. When you get stuck into something, you can always share your GitHub repository like, hey, this is my repository and this thing is not working, and anyone from the community can then see and respond. Even if I have time, I can also respond. But just looking at the video and saying it's 2 years old, I'm not gonna view this, I think that's probably stupid. Especially if there's no one else saying on the video that things don't work. Adil says, okay, thanks for the help, no problem. Osama but says, want more videos like the latest one. What is the latest one? Was it the React? Which was the latest one? Was it the use state and use effect one? This one? Yeah, I saw this one was doing pretty well. Hopefully soon. I'm currently trying to focus on the course and trying to finish it as soon as possible, inshallah. Hifza says, hi, currently studying React course and it's very good. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for sharing. Do share this with others so others can also benefit from this. Sir, do a video on how to use sockets in Angular. Muddy Eswar. I think if you... Okay, I'll try to note this down, but it's, as I said, right now I'm very much focused on the course. Hopefully when I'm done with this, and I have a few more things to go, then I can inshallah look into it for sure. But today what I actually want to do is to move forward with this one. So for example, yesterday when I was working, I actually added this. So we can add items to the cart. But I'm also now thinking of what we can use to actually show these somewhere here. So maybe just the total amount of pizzas added and then using those. So maybe I can start with just going around and using Redux and see from there. So let's try to add these, and let's open this. I can also go and let's go and try to do npm install Redux.js toolkit. Let's also install React Redux. React Redux, there we go. And let's open this one. Let's see. ls off i3. No, was it 5173? Okay, so we have this one. So let's kill this. Kill 9510. Ah, okay, my bad. Then I can close this one, and maybe we can close this one as well. And let's run dev here. Adil says, sir, अब Next.js में ही सारे projects बनते हैं industry में. Not necessarily. In some places yes. Not सारे projects. सारे projects कहना जो है वो बहुत it's very generic. So not सारे projects. Some of them. Not all of them. Sir, can you share the roadmap where we start learning React, then we go to which way, either go for MERN or go to Next.js? I would recommend not going for MERN stack now and just working on Next.js as much as possible, because you have one deployment and you can just go right away. If I don't have a front end on React, then I would go with something else. I would go with Express.js backend, maybe for scalability, and there are other options as well. But I think right now, if you're learning React, I would probably recommend to just go with Next.js right away, or right after it, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. So we have done this. TypeScript quick start. Okay, so we can start at least this. So, but I can maybe also take inspiration from the Redux. Oh, we did have the Redux course. Let's see if I can open this. Let's see if I can go to documents, practical React essentials, module 3, use Redux notifications. Maybe I can copy paste code from here. So we had store, where we had hooks, notification slice, and store. Let's copy this guy. Let's open WSL, Ubuntu, home, Ahsan. We have personal, pre, pizzeria, and I think inside source we can paste that. And let's also open main.tsx to see, because I don't want to start coding from scratch at the moment. So we're just providing the store here. Okay, so if I go here, refresh, I should have the store here. Let's see. So we have the store here, and we have notifications. We can go here and then start providing the store. So here we can say It's called provider. I think it's called provider. When we go here, use app dispatch, blah, blah, blah. I think it's here. Provider. Yeah. So this provider is store. Okay. So provider from React Redux. And then we can say provider. And we can go here. And we have store. That should be store coming from store.ts. Okay. So there we go. I think the next thing that we want to do is to have a slice. So, okay. But we can try to do something this. Mudassir Khan is asking you switch to Vim. Yes, recently, but I'm not as good with it at the moment. But yes, I'm trying. I'm trying at the moment. So I think we should have a card slice, or we should have apps. I think we can have just the app slice. I don't think we have to have multiple slices. So we have the card, and then we have the or maybe just we need just the cart item. So cart slice.ts, and then we can just copy this with this, no, this, paste this, and let's see. So the only thing that we are missing is pizza. So here we can replace this, and I think if I do colon percentage s, and if I'm correct, and I do know, I think I can replace notification with pizza. Oh no, slash pizza. There we go. So we have the pizza state here, but I don't need the state in, or maybe I do. I'm thinking now. I could put the things into the slice, but no, I don't think so. That's not. So what I'll do is, so we got the pizza item. Let's import this. Oh, is it not? I think it's called pizza. Yes. So we got the pizza here. And what we want to have in here is items, and let's rename this. What was the key for a smart rename? Maybe we can search it here. Vim smart rename. I think I have it. I think I have it somewhere here. And if I go to cd, I always forget this. So it's config and vim yeah, it's a space rn smart rename. Okay, let's go here. So if I change this to what? No, let's do this again. So space rn. Okay, there we go. New name, and I can say this is cart state, and now we have notifications list in here, but what we basically want to have is items, and this should be just empty for now, and we'll call this cart initial state, and then we have reducers here as well. We don't want this. We'll probably need this in a bit, but what we want to do here, because I'm changing a couple of things here, define a type for the slice state, what I want to do here is maybe rename this and call this add item, and the payload action should contain a pizza that could come here. Then what I want to do is I just want to add this item in the state. So I'll try to find the state first. So I'll say const matching pizza equals state dot items dot find, and here we can say, you can see I'm not very good with Vim at the moment, but I try. So here we can say oops, this should be item, and here I can say item dot, and there we have a problem. We don't have an ID on any of the items. That is a problem. What we can do is we can probably create or update our we can probably update our data. So if I go to data, menu items, this is my array at the moment. So if I copy this, I have to copy it like this. And if I go here, I can actually add random UUIDs from here. So if I paste this, I can go right here. I think it's going to save that I can't paste it and allow pasting something. Okay, it doesn't. Okay, that's good. So if I have menu items, what I can do is I can say menu items, menu items dot map, and I can take each item and return an item that has everything that an item has, but then a ID that is self.crypto.random UUID. And if I run this, yeah, now I have a lot of items with each having a unique ID. So let's wrap this into JSON.stringify. Let's wrap into JSON.stringify. And if I do this, there we go. And copy as here. I don't know if you have looked into these options. It's like copy string contents, copy string as JavaScript literal, copy string as JSON literal. So which is interesting. So I can copy it as JavaScript literal. And here I can actually replace this whole thingy, I think. Or let's see. Oops. And let's remove this. Let's remove this. And here I can do, I did it too many times. This and remove. But when we said JavaScript literal, it actually contained this as well. Anyways, let's save this. And now it says ID is something that it doesn't know. So we can go to our pizza thingy, and here we can say the ID is going to be string. There we go. So now we have an ID on each particular item. Now we can go ahead and into cart slice, we can say if the item.id is the same as the action.payload.id, then we have ourselves a matching pizza. If we don't have a matching pizza, which means we are adding the pizza for the first time. So if we don't have a matching pizza, then what we want to do is we want to say state.items.push, and here we can say now this is going to be interesting. So what I want to have is a pizza, but then also with a quantity. So what I want to have here is not just a pizza, but a pizza with its quantity as well. So what I'll do in here is I'll change this type to be pizza. And here we can say and here we can provide a property. So here we'll have quantity that's going to be a number. So now I can't really just push a pizza into it. So I can't really say action.payload because then it would say it's missing the quantity, as you can see. So here it says argument of pizza something something is not available, blah blah blah. If we try, I don't know if there's a good way of looking at this. I don't know, but essentially what we want to do is we want to say I want to have this whatever action payload is, and the quantity is gonna be 1. And now you see we don't have any issue. That's weird. Why do I have this here? Type never is not assignable to pizza and quantity. Okay. This is not good. Okay. So I think this is trying to say something else. So I should probably do this. An array of pizza and number. Now you see we don't have the errors. Nice. So if that's the case, then we do this. Else what we want to do is we want to basically say matching pizza dot, and here we can say quantity minus minus, and I think that should be it. So if the pizza doesn't exist, no, we are adding the item, right? So then we should rather do plus plus. Okay, so we got the add item one. Now let's say remove item. So if we have remove item, it's going to be almost exactly going to be the same. So if we say v yank and we paste, and this is going to be remove item. So we're going to send a pizza inside here as well. We're going to find the matching item. If we don't have the matching item in here, then we shouldn't do anything at all. So here we should probably just say if we have a matching pizza, then we should just say matching pizza dot quantity minus minus, and that's it. So if we have a matching pizza, then we do matching pizza quantity minus minus. But after, if the quantity has been reduced, we need to also see if the quantity then becomes 0. If it just becomes 0, for example, so here we need to then check if the matching pizza dot quantity has become 0, then we need to say just remove it from here. So here we can say state dot items dot filter item dot id equals to matching pizza dot id. So here we just filter them, and I think that's good. Now we can go ahead and say okay, we also need to rename this. So this is not notification slice. This is supposed to be cart slice. And let's enter. So the cart slice can extract, add item, remove item. Then we have select cart items, in which we are gonna just say state dot this should be state dot cart dot, and now I don't get them. Why? Because I have the type as wrong. So this is called cart. Okay, we got the root state. Maybe this is where we have not put it here. Yeah, so here it should be cart, and here we should say cart. Ooh. So here we should say cart reducer or cart slice. But what we want to do is we can also call this cart reducer, to be honest. Cart reducer, and I think we are good. Now let's go to here and see this guy. So here we have state dot cart dot items, So if we just want the items, we can get it like this. And now we can also look into the price as well, but we'll look into it in a bit. Okay, so there we go. So now let's have a look at the Redux part of this as well. So if I go to my app, first of all, Redux should be working, or we have some error. So we have each child in a list should have, yeah, we'll fix that in a bit. But if I go to Redux, yay, we have it. And we also have a state here with the items. So that means now I can start using and I can remove the notification slice now. So we got this guy here, we got store here, and we got main where we have provided the store. So now what I can do is I can go to pages and home. No, home has hero menu. Okay, so we've gotten the item here. We also should have the ID of the item here as well. So key item.id as key. So we also don't get any warnings. Do we have any warnings now? No, we don't. That's good. So now what we should do is whenever we click on a menu item, we should be able to add item to the array or remove it. So if we go here, and we go here, now I can say we have the menu item here with the props, and the quantity that is shown here is from use state. Now that's a really interesting thing, to be honest. Should we have each menu item showing how much quantity of it is in the cart, or should we handle this in the parent? Because I want this menu item to be, this could be a smart component, this could also be a dumb component. But since this is the menu, if we go to the menu item, then I think we can also show it. But maybe, okay, what we can do is, I'm thinking now. I'm thinking if the cart should only contain the items that are okay, I know what we can do. So in this case, what we can do is we do have the menu items being rendered, and I'm going to disable the restream messages, seems too many. Enable chat timers, edit, and Angular Cookbook, remove this. Okay, so how do we do this? I think when we have each menu item, it could allow us to add or remove stuff, but I think the actions should be probably here, now that I think about it. Yeah, I think it would make testing very easy. So I think so, yeah. So let's create the functions here maybe then. So we can say const equals, and here we can say use app dispatch, and no, this should be dispatch. And what we can do here is we can provide some functions, for example, add item or remove item, add to cart or remove from cart. So here we can say, first we need to make the property somehow. I don't know why this happens, but it doesn't look nice. So anyways, so if I go here, I think what we can do is providing some props. So item, it should have items. It should have item to cart, which shouldn't do anything, and it should actually receive an item, pizza, and then what it should have is oops. What am I doing? So here it should be VTI remove item from cart, and both of them should be here. So now if I go to, hey Sumit, how are you doing? I'm good, thank you. So add item to cart. When we do this, we're gonna have an item here, and here what we should do is dispatch, and here we can call add item from cart, and here we need to pass the item as it is. Now there it says, ooh, what happened here? Okay, so that's the add item. Then we should also have remove item from cart as a field, and here we can also have the item. So we are basically passing two functions here, and here we can say remove item, and here we also need to pass the item. Let's what is there another one? I missed something. What did I miss? So if I say dispatch remove item, okay, so here we should have this remove item from cart. Here we should say dispatch remove item, and here we should pass item. There we go. So we are having a menu item that have add item to cart, remove item from cart, and then key blah blah blah. So now that we have them, we can actually go inside the menu item component, and here just use them. Okay, so here we should go ahead and say add item to cart and remove item from cart. So we are importing these. Now we need to basically execute this. What are you working on these days, Sumit? So here, when we are setting the quantity, instead of setting the quantity, I think we should rather just add this item to the, we should add this item to, now I'm thinking, I'm thinking if each item should have their quantity from the state directly, because if we have that, then the I'm thinking maybe we should not have it. Do you have undo tree plugin installed? I don't think so. I do have the auto what is it, the persistent undo, that I have. But since we are using Redux, I don't think we need to use props at all, to be honest. So maybe let's remove the props. I'm gonna remove the props, and I'm gonna actually move the dispatch there as well, because that is usually the struggle when you start learning. When you learn Redux, then you have to decide if I actually should use something, or if I actually should use the state or not in this case. So what I'll do here is that I'll start from here. So dispatch equals use app dispatch. So I'll add it here. Now what I'll also do is, now we can, instead of the quantity thingy here, oh, I also need to have the quantity here as well. So here const, or we need to first get it in the store. So if we go to store, not store, cart slice, we can create a selector here. So let's do this. If I go here, ooh, if I copy this guy and paste it here, we have select, oops, as you can see, I'm not very bright with this one. Select item quantity. So when we have this, what we can do is, and in this state, I think we should, now this is going to be interesting. So when we do item quantity, we have the state, but we also need to provide a function where we can have the state in there, I think. So I might be doing it in a way where we have a function, I think, that returns this. So here we should have an item which should be of type pizza, and here we should say return state and items dot find. So I think this should, we can convert this into a function like this. So here we can say something like const matching pizza equals here, and here we can say item and item dot id. Let's change this to two-liner, and here we can say equals, now I have two items, so here we can rename this to pizza item. So here that should be equal to item dot id. So we find a matching one, and we are trying to say if not matching pizza, then we just return 0. Or we could make it a one-liner actually. So here we can say return matching pizza dot quantity or 0. So now we have select item quantity. Let's see if we can use that in the menu item component. Under tree lets you see your changes at any point, similar to Git. Interesting. Sumit says nothing, looking for a job change cause on notice period. Aha, okay. Which city are you from, Sumit? And is it easy to find jobs there, or is it, how would you say is an average time to get a job? So here if I try to say const cart item equals, and now I think here you can say use app selector, and here we can now say select item quantity, and here I can pass the item if I'm correct, and this should actually let me find the cart item dot quantity, and then here we can say const quantity equals cart item, right? No, does it not? Oh, it just gives us the quantity. Aha, okay, so it's, yeah, we can just then say quantity. Okay, so we have quantity, blah, blah, blah. If the quantity is 0, then we say set quantity 1. And we say add to cart. Aha, okay. So here we say add item. So we say dispatch. And here we can say add item. And here we can say item. So we are dispatching this if we have no items. Otherwise, I think this is the one where we have the remove item. So here we can say dispatch, remove item. I'm hoping this flawlessly works, just like my flawless code everywhere. Say indoor. Don't know, this would be the first time when I look for job on 30-day notice period. It's a 1-month notice period. Okay, I think that's very standard in throughout multiple countries. In I think in Pakistan it's exactly the same as well. Which one is this? Primary button circle. Okay, wait a second. So it says add to cart. Otherwise this has remove item. Yeah, okay, then that's good. So then I just need to copy this guy and replace this here. Do we have anything else? Ooh, set quantity to 0. I think this should be just dispatch remove item. Yeah, I think it should be this. Okay, let's see. Moment of truth. So if we go to Redux, we say add item to cart. Ooh, look at that. So item got added to the cart, and now I have an item inside the cart, which is margarita, and we have price and we have quantity here as well. Now if I click one more, the quantity is 2. Awesome. 3, 4, 5. And if we remove this, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And now it says add to cart. That's good. But if it becomes 0, then the state should actually not have this item at all. But I still see the item there. So that's one problem. And then I also need to say something like delete item from cart or change the name. So if I go to store, no, cart slice, I think we might have to rename the variables, but we'll see. So in here, if we have a matching pizza, we change the quantity. But if the quantity is 0, then we should... because we are using filter, of course. So state.items equals. So that's one thing. But I think we should rename add item, remove item. Here we should probably have another one that says delete from cart. So here we can say delete from cart, state, action, payload, action of pizza. And here we can say something like maybe just this. So if it is there, it's going to be deleted. If it's not, that's fine. So if we do this, so we have action dot payload dot id. Okay, so we have delete from cart, and I think we can set it here because I don't want to... Yeah, we need to basically export this for sure. So if I go back, if I go back, this one, which is supposed to be delete, this should just say delete from cart. There we go. So now if we run this, I think this should be good. So if I add to cart 2 times, what happened? Okay, so here we have the state, we have the cart, items, pin, the quantity is 3. If I click remove, then on this one, what was the difference? The difference was the quantity becomes 0 from 1 to 0, but it was not removed. That's very weird. Okay, if I say add to cart, oops, refresh, add to cart, and this changed the difference from item 0 to 1. If I say delete from cart, then this also says this is... I'm missing something. Maybe I did not put something. This doesn't look like VS Code. No, this is NeoVim. So I'm using an editor that is sort of built on top of the Vim editor. It's called NeoVim. But what am I missing? So here we have the items, right? And so if I have it here, when I say delete, oh, look at this. So this was the mistake, not equals to. And that's why not equals to. Now this should work. So if I hit add to cart, we have an item inside. If I hit delete the cart, then we don't have the items inside. There we go. So this one basically removed it. So if I say add to cart, 2 times more add. So now we have an item, or we have the cart having items with the quantity set to 3. But if I say remove, then the last one should also remove it. So the state now doesn't have items. So if we look at the diff, this one actually removed the item. Hey! Now I think the only thing that one of the things that we need to do is we need to, when we add items to cart, we can have the quantity shown here, some pizzas or something like that, or the count in the header even. So here we have the select cart items, which shows each item's quantity that we have. We should also have a selector. So export const selector. here we can maybe say pizza selector or select pizza's count, and here we can get the state, root state, root state, and here we can say state dot cart dot items dot length, and that should basically give us the length. Here we have the length, and my camera just died. Okay, so I think I'm gonna wrap this up pretty quickly, but let's see. We have this guy. So we have the count here. Then I think we should also have the price or the total. So export const select cart total, which should be just state, root state, and here we should say state dot. Here I think we can go multi-lines and say return state dot items dot reduce. Have you worked with the reduce function at all? Which basically has an accumulator and next. So what I want to do is I just want to say return accumulator plus next dot quantity. No, because this is going to be on items, we're going to have to say something like next dot price into next dot quantity. But state dot cart dot items dot reduce. That's why it wasn't assigning to it. And we should start with 0. There we go. But I actually want these to be multiplied first. Why does this remove it? Oh, maybe it does it automatically. Okay. So then we can maybe just say accumulator at the end. Just for my sanity. Okay, so that means if I go to Captain Cringe, what does reduce do? When you run reduce, you can actually combine the items of all, or if you have an array of, let's say, 5 items, for example, if I have here, if you have 1, 2, 3, and you want to do something with them, for example, you want to take a sum, what you can basically do is you can do reduce, and then you can reduce this by just using something like this. So you have an accumulator which accumulates the value together after each iteration, and you have next item always. So what you do here is that you are essentially starting from 0. Then what you say here is that return x plus next, which basically means, as you can see, the value here shown is 6. So what happens is that it starts with 0. When it comes first time here, the value here is 0. Then it adds the next value to it and returns it. So 0 plus 1 becomes 1. Then it comes again, and the value of accumulator is 1. Then it adds 2 to it, so the value becomes 3. Then the next time it comes, the accumulator is 3 and the value is 3 as well. So it keeps adding those things. So since I want to take out the total, I can just run this, and now I have the total in this case. So what I can do here is just beside the card, I can have the, where is it? That's the view total. I mean, I can show there as well, but I want to show this just around the drop down. So if I go here, we have the cart icon, but I can maybe do here div. And here I can add the total. So we can go here and say const cart total equals use selector or use app selector, and here we can say select select cart total. So when we do this, then we have the cart total here, and here we can say cart total, and we also have the, if we go to menu item, the price that we are showing is in form of euros. So let's also copy this. We can paste it here, and we can put a dollar here. Oh, we don't need a dollar here. Okay, there we go. So here we now see the cart total to be 0. If I add one of the items, you can see now it says 8.99. Noise. If I add another one, 17.98, and you can see it keeps increasing. This is nice. And now I can do the same. I can add this item. So whatever the count becomes, it basically can add those. And if I remove, for example, this one, it removes it. This one removes it. This one, the cart total 0. I think it makes sense to have the cart total only when you have a cart total. So if we have a cart total value, then we can use this. And this comes from the conditional rendering thingy. And I think this should also be now this is one of the problems. When you go with cart total and this value is a number, then it renders that value. This is not something that we really need. So what we'll do here is we'll do a question mark, and we'll do a different sort of rendering here. So here we'll go with null, and if I save this guy, now we don't see anything, and now we do see things. Here, let's also change this to class name, font, semi-bold. Save this guy. Now we have it as bold. I like it. I also like the spacing. I think I'm good with this so far. And if I delete item, it goes away. Now we also need to show the count here. So let's also fix that. And it's also in the header. So we can say cons. And now already we have a selector for this. So we have pizzas count equals use app selector, select pizzas count. And now we can show that on the list. Here we have, so pizzas count. Now this would also show the count if we are adding. Now this is a problem. Why does it say why does it say 1? That's a problem. That means we have the logic that we have for our pizzas count is flawed, so to say. So much for the flawless code. So if we go here, yeah, it should not be the length. It should actually be, it should actually be the sum of all quantities, so to say. So basically what I need to do is I need to say return state dot items dot, and now I need to reduce it. So I need to add all the quantity. So here I can say return, and let's start with a 0, and we need to say return next dot quantity, just the quantity and not the price, plus ac. And obviously this should have been cart dot items. So yeah, now I think this should be good. So plus 1, and here you can see the count also increases as we are adding those items. But I'm not really sure if I should. I'm not really sure, because even if we have a different sort of price, or I don't know. If you have a margarita and there are 20 items and then 12. Yeah, I think we should show how many items are there in the cart, to be honest. So what we can do now is in the subtotal as well, or if I try to find sub, go back. Okay, so what was it? Subtotal. So yeah, here we have, and this should be, what was the whole count? No, cart total. सर आपकी VS Code की थीम कौन सी है? ये दिस इज़ नॉट VS Code, ये VS Code नहीं है, ये NeoVim है, और इसका जो मैं थीम यूज़ कर रहा हूँ, आई थिंक इट्स कॉल्ड Catpuccin. ये दिस इज़ द नेम ऑफ द थीम, Catpuccin. लेकिन मेरा VS Code का जो थीम है, that's a different theme. ये मेरे VS Code का थीम है. It's also very nice, but ये Cat Kitchen is a bit different. So this is my VS Code's theme. Or this one is called Winter is Coming by John Papa. So Winter is Coming. You can search for this. Winter is Coming. The one with dark blue and no italics. VS Code's Cat Kitchen isn't as nice, sadly. Tech support. Yeah, I can imagine. I chose I chose Winter's Coming, and I think it has been pretty nice so far. So I like it, to be honest. So let's add some items, and then if we open this, you can also see the amount here. But I think we should also have the the euro sign there as well. So we should have. How can I find the euro sign with search? I don't think that's possible. Or is it? Subtotal. Why does this space this guy as well? Ah, okay, because I did that. Okay. Makes sense. So here we have the subtotal here. I'm not sure. Oh, 8 items. This is sneaky. Don't want that. So this one should be hex neutral. Oopsie doopsie. And now if I open this, yeah, 8 items, subtotal, blah, blah, blah. Why does it say 8 items? I have 7 only. Because that's hard-coded, of course. So here this should be pizzas count. 0 items, subtotal 0. And if I add an item to cart, why does this say new? 5 items, total amount is this one. I don't really think I need this, to be honest, because I was first thinking about implementing a login thingy, but I don't think I'm gonna have that, to be honest. So let's remove this guy. Drop. Where did you go? I think it starts from. I need one extension to be able to collapse these divs. I don't know of one. Vim or NeoVim extension collapse HTML elements. HTML tag folding is what it's called. I did V NVim UFO. Okay, I'm not sure how to make them for automatically. ZFAT. No, using a marker method, put the marker around the tag. What does your config look like? Take a look at my. I'm tired, but I think this should work. Interesting. Tree setter based folding should work. No, I am very new to Vim, so I'm not really sure even if I know the command to run it. Maybe I should check. Tree setter folding. What is the key? What is the key binding for this? Okay. How is your file tree showing diagnostics? Have you configured it? Does it come out of the box with new tree? The diagnostics were set up after a lot of configuration. I have included within the formatting. I'm using conform. That's what I fell back to. I was using something else before, but Prettier and ESLint both is something I'm using at the moment. I think If I try to find ESLint, yeah, I'm using it in Mason, but also in linting. So yeah, linting but my configuration is available on GitHub if you want to look at it. New web. It is very painful to set up. Yes. Yes, I feel you. It has, I think I took 2 to 3 days just to get things running. And the weirdest part was for me was that things were working perfectly on VS Code, and especially not just the linting, but when I also wanted to do format on save, because format on save for me was doing something completely different in NeoVim, and it was doing something completely different in VS Code. So that was too painful. Yes, but I'm happy I could figure it out, and I just pushed it to GitHub as at the first moment, at the first chance I could. Wait, go back. Nope. Avatar. So that's the one. If I go here, this should be it, I think. So okay, so I don't have anything in the card. Now I can add items to the card. That's good. I think that's a decent app right there. So I think I like it. I would love to have a feature of searching as well. Maybe we can add that. Unfortunately, VS Code is just much nicer for TypeScript. I agree. I think there are a lot of instances where I just don't feel like using NeoVim, but the thing is I don't want to quit, because if I quit, I think I'm not gonna continue using it. But I actually want to be better at using Vim. I feel like I'm much more productive when I'm working with this, or at least it's not significant. I won't say it's twice or thrice times productive than VS Code, but I still feel quite fast. It does get, yes, true. It does get really slow in large projects. Yes. You should also try Tmux. It makes switching tabs smoother. You don't have to use mouse for that. Yeah, I'm hopefully I will. I also am looking for this this guy. I'm not sure if you've seen this. There's a guy on YouTube called there's a channel called Typecraft. I actually learned NeoVim from this guy. So really, I would highly recommend this guy. So he has started one new course recently that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully it gets this one, NeoVim for newbie. This was the one that I followed. It was really nice. Did he start streaming as well? Ooh, that's nice. Awesome. Yeah, I saw his even his channel growing significantly. I think it was about, I don't know, maybe 30,000, 35,000, 40,000 recently when I started, maybe a month ago. But now it's like 55,000. So he's doing a really good job. So the videos he started sharing was setting up Linux. So my favorite thing for, Linux for noobs. So I'm gonna wait for this to finally finish, and I think then I'll start maybe trying to use Linux and seeing, tiling window manager and whatnot. But there is still time. But yeah, it's for Windows it's a bit interesting, because I have to use the subsystem for Linux, and then setting up VS Code for that. It also becomes a bit slower when you're using WSL with VS Code. And then you also have to install the extensions for your VS Code separately, sometimes for different projects as well. Yes, I can imagine. But how long have you been using NeoVim? Using Vim is not about productivity; it's about saying I use Vim. By the way, true. No, but I think I like it much more, to be honest. For example, just finding different files, do fuzzy search. I think it's nice, but I do miss a lot of things as well. For example, I'm using right now, if I try to use, for example, BG, well, now it's trying to use it. If I go with, now it does. And that's also weird. The first time I set this project up, I used Tailwind CSS and Daisy UI, and it wasn't showing me Daisy UI extensions at all. Now it does. So those are the kind of things, because I think I probably just needed to do LSP restart or something, or wait for it. Tech support says my first new Vim config was like 50 lines and it did most things my current 1500 lines. Yes. True. Yeah. I started watching. I don't know which guy I started watching first. Maybe it was TJ, who has most of the new Vim plugins. But now when I looked at Typecraft, then I started just looking in those as well. That was we used a few years ago. Okay. Interesting. But I saw that this was really famous, but I don't have much idea of what this is. I know code completion or making smart as VS Code. I read that, but I don't know which of my things I would have to replace for this. But it seemed nice. Do you still use this? Oh, okay. Okay. But I do have a config with okay. Makes sense. Okay, we should maybe fix this issue for mobile phones. This doesn't look nice. So let's say if I go for iPhone 14 Pro Max. Yeah. So this should at least be of some width. So if we go to menu item.ts, oh, that's not the one. Menu item.tsx. We have width 32, mask square, but it does not get the card body. It seems like it crushes it. Maybe it's because it has or maybe because it doesn't have a flex one. It does have flex one. Interesting. But then, okay, so this is the whole one. We have then the figure, which has the image. Oh, because of the okay. Maybe we should give this then on the figure. So we have. Let's remove this here and let's put it here. Great. And there we go. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Now on a large screen, it is still does the job, but I don't like it. Let's see. Okay, so we got the figure that is off width 32. And then we have, but maybe, let's see. So if I go and put this back, I think we should also maybe just give it min width 32 as well. Oops. That doesn't fix it. So we have our text that is going out of the way. This one has display flex 1. That's fine. Maybe we would have to give this on the figure itself because it's the parent element. Okay. I think now we fixed it. So let's see. Yep, no problems here. And if I also go down on a mobile phone, Nilven Mascarinas. I use Windows at the moment. I'm probably going to try Linux pretty soon, but I am using Windows. What about you? What do you use? Tech support says COC has an older version of TS server that's faster, although sometimes it's actually nicer. I actually saw that, I think, in one of the comments, or maybe on one of the videos of Typecraft that said the same thing, that yeah, the COC server is much nicer. I also had the same. I don't remember what I used first for linting. I can't recall what was the package. But yeah, when I moved to the when I moved to NVM lint, this was much faster, and it also fixed, or I couldn't even, maybe it was ale, but that was pretty slow. So this and it was not even working when it came to just saving the files. But yeah, conform and nvm lint was something that actually worked for me. I don't know if I watched TJ's or someone else's video, but yeah, that really helped. So I was glad. Ooh, look at that. That's not nice. So if I had add to cart, this goes above, and then we have these buttons here. Maybe it's I don't know how I feel about this. Mm, hmm. Maybe let's do one thing. Maybe if I go to what was called hero icons. Maybe I have it open already. Or trash. Copy JSX. Maybe let's try to change this from this to the icon instead. So what I want to do is I want to say span, and I also what I also don't like, at least now, and that is most likely because of my lack of expertise, is I have to write the finishing tag myself, and I don't like it. Class name. So autocomplete or auto pairs for some reason doesn't work for me yet. So we have class name. Let's do this md hidden, and then we should have this guy, which should also have the class name, but it should be md visible and hidden, and this should be md hidden visible. Save this. Let's see if that makes it a bit better. Otherwise we'll have to do something else. What? Shouldn't this work? So we've got ooh what? Wait a second. So what did we do here? So we had the delete button, and I said that on MD this is gonna hide. That's fine. Oh, no. So this should be MD visible, and this should be hidden by default. So I made it the other way around, and this should be visible and hidden. So one of the things is if I then do this, so I see the delete button now. I can also say that the size is going to be also different. Tech support says nvmts auto tag. Is that the one? What if I already have this? Ha ha ha. Let's see. No, I don't have it. Okay, thank you. Let's see if I can make this work. So auto tag dot lua. Let's copy this guy, paste this, and you said that where did my cursor go? Probably went out of. And this is the one. Do I need to run some sort of setup for this? Let's see. Okay, so we can remove this. Okay, so if we go to R1, edit, enter the command to continue, Should I try it without restarting? So we have H2. To my tree sitter config. Aha, okay. Probably should have looked into the documentation. So tree sitter. Yeah, okay. I just want to probably should have looked at the documentation. So we have require autodesk setup. Oh, okay. So I think then I just need this guy. So let's see. Let's see. Pre-sitter. Okay, so we've got that one right here. And I think we can put it here. Okay. Let's see. Do I have to close everything and then try it again or no? No. You shared another link. Let's see. Do I have to add a lot of things with this? Okay. So you have tree sitter coming in. You also have to set as dependencies. Interesting. But that's the same thing. If I'm doing this, I think it's gonna still load it, but okay. Okay, I hear you. Then I just need to go to tree sitter and we should have here as dependencies. Cease. Wait a second. How we have configured this before. Just returning an object with dependencies. Okay. So if we do the same thing, should be good. And we have is that correct? Let's see. So we got dependencies shown as this. Yeah. What have I missed? Missed a comma. Dependencies is not defined. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So this should be good. Change, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So that should be good. Let's see. Reloading, reloading, reloading. No corresponding tag. H2. No. And is there a shortcut that I need to follow or what? Maybe I should close everything and then open it again. And then line 19 in your config. There's something else missing as well. I need to also set up this as well. Aha, okay. It should install blah, 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 auto tag enable true. Okay, thank you. So then we have, are we running ensure inst? Okay, here. No, but that is TS config setup. Where are we setting these options? So you're doing m.config equals to function, then you're saying, and then when you do setup configs, then you provide the options. Nope, that's right. Have I missed anything? TSConfig is where it should go. Interesting. Okay. And it was to tag enabled. Is it D? No, enabled equals true. Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, that I was thinking the same. So maybe let's close this guy and let's close this guy as well. Aha, because the dependency wasn't installed, of course. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And we can then open the What is the file? It was menu item.tsx. Quantity and svg. Okay, so then okay, finally. That's good. Thank you. P. Oh, this is such a relief. Thank you, thank you. My life has become at least twice as happier. Okay, so now I have the delete button and I don't have my server running. So let's run npm run dev and let's refresh. Okay, so we have this guy which doesn't show at the moment. So we have this by default as hidden and then md makes it visible. The svg is here. What am I missing? Why is this guy not visible? Button primary. We have the svg here. And if we come here, then we have the span delete, but the visibility is visible. But okay. So the class is not. What was the tailwind class for? Okay. So rather we should then say something like, if it's hidden, then this becomes a block. Very nice. MD block. And this should also be hidden block. I couldn't recall what was the name of the inverse of hidden. We'll have a look. So here we got delete and then we got this one. We should also look into the class of that's life changing for working with JSX. Yes. Also fun tip, there's also a T motion in Vim, which is great for tags. So if you do VAT in normal mode, it'll select do a visual tag around a tag. Aha. Interesting. I think I remember it from, I have the learn Vim in VS Code thingy, but I think I forgot it. So you said VAT. Aha, okay. That's nice. Is it also VIT as well? That selects inside? Yeah. So, okay. But I think I'll remember it now. Okay, thank you. Nice. I can definitely use that one. So what I want to do now is, so we have button primary, but we also might want to provide this guy a class. So it could be button sm. We also have access? No. And then we have md button md. So in this case it's delete, but if we go smaller, yeah, it becomes smaller. That's nice. And we need to do the same thing. So if we go here, can I repeat it with dot? Yeah. And then we also have this guy. So that could also have this, and then we have this. So it can also have that. Okay. Zishan Area, wa alaikum assalam. How are you doing? Oh, maybe add to cart should not be this. Okay, there we go. That wouldn't work for auto close JSX tag, just sadly, but oh well. Okay, so I have to, but yeah, how many times do you really use the auto tags? That's good. Okay, I think this is nice. So I can go down a bit. I can also say add to cart. There's a delete thingy. But why do I have so much gap right here? Okay, I think it's not as bad. I think my son needs here. Let's see. Assalamu alaikum. What guy the? Oh. क्या कर रहे थे? सो रहे थे. स्पेस दबाना है. आसान स्पेस दबाना है. ओके. पहले ये वाला दबाते हैं. दूसरा दबाते हैं. ओके, लेट मी गो आउट ऑफ द एडिटर फर्स्ट. ओके, चलो अब दबाओ. वाओ. आसान फिनिश होने वाला है. क्या फिनिश होने वाला है? Then finish होने वाला है. So this guy just woke up from the afternoon nap. सो गए थे. सो गया था ये बच्चा. सो गया था. चले. बेबी. ये रहा छोटा बेबी. आसान छोटा बेबी. और वो बाबा. छोटा बेबी. लिल बेबी. बाबा. Okay, I think it's time for me to sign off. I'm really happy. Thank you so much for the help tech support. I think I'm 100% sure I'm gonna be much happier when I code the next time on Neovim. I'll remember to just push my changes. But I think we are at a good state, at least for the application that I'm working on. The next step for me, at least, is to work on the cart page. It might be that I also work on the payment page as well, but I think so far this looks pretty nice. Yeah, I think I like it. One of the things I don't like is we don't have the header always being shown, so I have to scroll all the way top to see how much how much I have up top. But I will fix that as well, maybe the next time. And I'm obviously not showing my screen, so that's sad. But yeah, I think I'm really happy with with this one. I'll probably start working on the view cart or the cart page, and I'll also fix the sticky header because it doesn't stick at the moment. So thank you so much everyone for joining. I'll hopefully see you next time. Happy rest of your weekend, and yeah, as always, happy coding. See you. ये तो बोल देते. अल्लाह हाफिज. या ओके. देखा आपने पिज्जा देखा? पूरा पिज्जा. पिज्जा खाना है.